Good afternoon. My name is Annette Linwood, and my presentation is on cholesterol synthesis and lovastatin. So, what is cholesterol? Cholesterol is a sterol. It is a waxy-like, fat-like substance found in all cells of the body. The body needs some cholesterol to make hormones, vitamin D, and substances that help you digest food. And too much cholesterol is associated with heart disease, which we will discuss later. Okay, now let's talk about how cholesterol is synthesized. Okay, so it happens in three stages and it happens in the cytoplasm. So it starts with the formation of HMG-CoA, which is formed by acetyl-CoA and acetylacyl-CoA. Then HMG-CoA is reduced to mevalonate. This happens by HMG-CoA reductase, which is the key control site. And mevalonate is the committed step in this process. Now, in the first stage, it ends with the production of isopentenyl 5-pyrophosphate, which you see in these steps. So you see acetyl-CoA, acetyl-CoA. Yeah, the HMG-CoA, which is the HMG reductase, which is a key factor when we talk about lovastatin, which we'll discuss later. The HMG-CoA, as I stated, will be reduced to mevalonate, and then the last stage of this ends with isopentenyl pyrophosphate, as I stated earlier. Okay, let's go to the next stage. So we have the next stage, which happens in the endoplasmic reticulum. Now, the isopentenyl 5-pyrophosphate is going to be condensed down to form squalene right here. So this happens in a 5-10-15 carbon-like structure. So what happens is dimethylyl pyrophosphate pairs with the isopentenyl pyrophosphate, which you don't see in this structure, but it pairs with this to form geranyl pyrophosphate. So that's the 5, and then that's the 10. Then you have geranyl pyrophosphate that works with, again, isopentenyl pyrophosphate to form functional pyrophosphate, which is a 15 carbon structure. Then that 15 carbon structure forms squalene. And it's basically if you have two tails of the functional pyrophosphate together, because it's a 15 carbon structure, so two of those tail ends together forms a 30 carbon structure. And I wasn't able to pull up the photos from the book, but I can kind of show you right here. So as I stated, the dimethylyl pyrophosphate pairs with the isopentenyl pyrophosphate, which creates the geranyl pyrophosphate. So that's a 5, that's a 10 carbon structure. Then the geranyl pyrophosphate again pairs with the isopentenyl pyrophosphate, which creates the farnesyl pyrophosphate. And then two of those structures forms the squalene, tail to tail. It forms the squalene structure. So that's a 30 carbon structure. So that's the second stage. So now we move on to the third stage. So the third stage is where squalene cyclizes to form a ring-like structure. Again, I wasn't able to pull that up, so I'll kind of show it on here. So you have this ring-like structure. It forms that ring-like structure. Squalene is first activated by conversion into squalene epoxide, which is right here, which is 2,3-oxidosqualene right here. So then the 2,3-oxidosqualene is cyclized to form lanresterol. So then lanresterol is converted into cholesterol, which it loses 3 carbons in this 19 reaction process, which forms cholesterol, which is a 27 carbon molecule. And that's how cholesterol is synthesized. So move on. So now we have high cholesterol. So now that we know what cholesterol is, how it's synthesized in the body. Now we'll look at high cholesterol. So you have your low density lipoproteins, which is considered your bad cholesterol. High levels can lead to plaque buildup, like right here in the arteries. Then you have your high density lipoproteins. That's considered your good cholesterol because it carries cholesterol from other parts of the body back to the liver. Then the liver removes it from the body. Now, high cholesterol can be contributed to poor diet, lack of exercise, but also it can be contributed to genetics. It's called familial hypercholesterolemia, which is sometimes your parents may have high cholesterol, so it's kind of in your genetics. So, but you can also take medication for that. So now we'll move on to how lovastatin can help with that process. But first, we'll talk about what is lovastatin. Lovastatin, also known as Mevacor, is a statin medication used to treat high cholesterol. It was approved for medical use in 1987. Okay, so how does lovastatin lower cholesterol? Like I stated, it's a statin. There are other statins out on the market. Some that we would probably recognize is Zocor, Crestor, which are some of the, like I said, some of the ones we will recognize. All of their names end with a statin. So as I stated earlier when we talked about cholesterol synthesis, I said that it's a key control point, which is the HMG-CoA reductase. So what lovastatin does is it inhibits that HMG CoA reductase, which interferes with the production of mevalonate. So if it interferes with the production of mevalonate, then cholesterol cannot be synthesized, which means that overall your cholesterol is going to be lowered. Additionally, lovastatin is a pro-drug. So as I stated, it's a statin. It inhibits the HMG reductase, which is here, which is one of the key control points in cholesterol synthesis. It interferes with the production of mevalonate, which if you interfere with mevalonate, cholesterol cannot be synthesized. So that concludes my presentation. Thank you for watching.